Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Anna Morphides with Many Hearts Counseling. And today's video is going to be all about soulmates. I feel like this is a question that not only did I embark on within my own journey of experiencing love, because even when I was super young, I just always believed that I was one half of an orange, and then somewhere out there was my other half of my orange that would come together to complete me. And this idea of a soulmate always sort of was in my peripheral awareness of love. And I've come to now understand and know that we don't only have one soulmate in a lifetime. We have up to 3 or 4 soulmates. We can have unlimited connections, but specific soul connections that are going to be life-changing, sometimes in a painful way, sometimes in a less painful way. We just don't know what the soul contract is that we have with each other. But the beautiful piece of information that we're going to receive from this video is that soulmates do exist, and you can have up to 4 in one lifetime. Connections are unlimited, and the information that I am providing in this video are actually true facts. I'm not sure if any of you know Dr. Brian Weiss. He is the pioneer of regression therapy, and he's actually, he's in his 80s right now. I went to go see him a couple years ago. He came to Portland, and I got a chance to be in his presence, and he is the most wonderful, grounding man. But he did not start off his career like that. He was Jewish and definitely did not have any inkling to spirituality or conscious awareness. He was very much in 3D reality, living the mundane life, going to school, getting a psychology degree, and really focusing in taking his clients back to their childhood with hopes that they would tap into their childhood wounds to heal their adult self. Except this man was able to take people way before their childhood. He was able to take people back into previous lifetimes. And he was actually quite shocked with what was coming through with the clients that would be in his office that were now in a hypnotic state, and the things that they would say. And of course, in the beginning, that was scary and unknown territory for Dr. Brian Weiss. But after researching this past that the clients would bring forth while they were in the hypnotic state, it would be validated. So the experiences that these people were talking about in their past lives would be validated, because they would look into it, and there would be facts that would support whatever was coming through. And this is why he wrote at least 5 books. All are memoirs of clients that were in his office that would recount their experiences with certain people in their life right now and their relationship in a past life with them. So what truly is a soulmate? A soulmate is someone who you have a soul contract with, and you are mating in this moment with, due to your soul's vibrational level. And that's why we can have 3 or 4 in a lifetime, because our vibrational level can change quite a few times within our lifetime. I know it is sort of like a line for us, if we don't have it any sooner than our midlife, that at least in our midlife, we're going to get an opportunity to change our soul's vibration. Because when we go from our rising astrological sign, from the rising sun to the rising moon, we're also giving our soul an opportunity to change and be different and understand what truly life is meant to be and feel like. unconditional, limitless, super powerful. We have power over our thoughts. We can now really anchor these new beliefs into our system and change the way that we think and feel about ourselves and the world. Change the vibration, therefore change the vibrational field that will attract in a soulmate. So where it gets a little tricky, and I'm going to read this most beautiful passage from one of Dr. Brian Weiss's books, Only Love is Real. And he says that you will not always marry your most strongly bonded soulmate. There may be more than one for you because soul families travel together. You might choose to marry a less bonded soul companion, one who has something specific to teach you or to learn from you. Your recognition of a soulmate may occur later in life after both of you are already committed to present life families. There was one paragraph that I forgot to read in my original video that I made, and I normally don't edit or rewatch them, but for some reason I was called to do that because I felt like I had forgotten to mention this one particular part, because aside from the passage that I read about soulmates and who you choose to marry, there's also another beautiful paragraph that says that sometimes soulmates decide not to get married while incarnated. They arrange to meet, to stay together until the agreed upon task is completed, and then to move on, which gives liberation to that notion of you don't have to be together forever with someone in order to really enjoy that person in its fullness, because sometimes the soul contract is just for a shorter period of time, and that is also okay too. And it goes on to say that their agendas, their lesson plans for the entirety of their life are different, and they do not want to or need to spend all of this lifetime together. And this is not a tragedy. This is not a tragedy, only a matter of learning. You have eternal life together, but sometimes you may need to take separate classes. So I hope this also gives solace to the fact that when we are separated by someone who we think is a soulmate or we feel is a soulmate, and then we experience heartbreak, just remember this passage, and hopefully it will make it a little bit less intense, that pain and suffering of losing someone, because essentially we're not really losing someone. And now we're going to go back to the original video, which means that we're not always aware of the person's purpose in our lives. So when we get fixated to the idea that this person is supposed to be with us forever, or we get fixated to the idea that this is the only person that I want to be with, this is where we do ourselves a bit of a disservice, because we're not allowing the true soul contract between these two people to unfold naturally between them. And that is what causes great suffering and pain, because going against, like having resistance to what is, like not accepting your present moment, will create pain and suffering. So when we truly look at our soulmate in this sort of way, as a person that has come in to teach us, not to be with us and bring us to wholeness and make us happy for the rest of our lives. So my experience of me being half of an orange and waiting for my other half to complete me was actually quite not accurate. I am half of an orange. Soulmates I meet in my life will help me figure out my other half of my orange so I can complete myself. And then when I am complete, then they can come in and meet me in that wholeness and completeness. Or we can also do it together. There's this book. Thank you so much, Eric, for lending me this book, Keeping the Love That You Find. I ran into this book this past Saturday at a party, because that's what I do. I find books at parties. And it says about partners in a conscious relationship. Like once we understand what the true purpose is of a soulmate, right, is someone who is there to teach you. Then you enter into a conscious relationship, and instead of projecting all the time your pains and your fears onto that person, you're able to look at those pains and those fears and try to understand where they're coming from, what they're trying to say to you, and you try to untwist them and heal them. And you can do this on your own, or you can do it together if you're both aware and you enter into conscious relationship, because the partners in a conscious relationship recognize that the purpose of their relationship is to heal their childhood wounds. They are committed to identifying the drives and directives of their unconscious and to designing their relationship to cooperate with them. They recognize that their partner's needs are a blueprint for their own personal growth. They realize that following this map will involve work, and they are committed to the process. The basic principle of a conscious relationship is intentionality. And the partners in a conscious relationship educate each other about their childhood wounds. They identify their partner's needs and desires, and they commit themselves to meeting them. They take inspiration from the romantic love stage of their relationship and offer their partners unconditional love. That is, they specifically target their behavior to meet their partner's needs and heal their wounds without asking for anything in return. This is where the idea of no attachment comes in. I know this is a tough one, because sometimes like the line is blurry between attachment and needs, right? So like having a conscious relationship and being able to discuss your feelings with your partner, how you feel within your interactions with them, as opposed to saying, oh, you're making me feel this way. The conscious person would say, I am feeling this way in this connection, and then voicing your feelings and needs is a bit different than attaching to someone doing something for you in order for you to feel better. So when we are able to truly understand the purpose of our soulmate, then we can just be different in our connections. But if one party is not able to have this awareness, to have this clarity, or even the capacity, because clarity and capacity are really huge in being able to be in a connection that is truly conscious. And sometimes the limitations of our mind or what is going on in our lives will create that lack of capacity. And I'm going to switch back to this book by Only Love is Real by Dr. Brian Weiss, because he does say to never worry about meeting soulmates. Such meetings are a matter of destiny. They will occur. After the meeting, the free will of both partners will reign in. What decisions are made or not made are a matter of free will, of choice. The less awakened will make decisions based on the mind and all of its fears and prejudices. And that's why Danny Morale always says, if you want to truly find a soulmate, heal your soul. And he says, if you don't heal your soul or understand your soul and its desires, then you're just going to create a mind mate. And a mind mate is way different than a soulmate. A mind mate is someone who's going to reflect back to you your unhelpful thoughts and feelings that you have about yourself. But a soulmate is going to be different. And so continue on. If the partner is not able to get out of their mind and step into their heart and really embrace the connection and want to be able to grow and learn from it, then the more awakened of the couple, it says, unfortunately, this will lead to heartache. The more awakened the couple is, the more the likelihood of a decision based on love will be. When both partners are awakened, then ecstasy is within their grasp. But a soulmate who is available but unawakened is a tragic figure that can cause you great anguish, because unawakened means that they are not seeing life clearly and not aware of the many levels of existence. And the everyday mind is what will prevent that knowing and understanding. And they will often have excuses of the mind that will sound like, I'm too young, or I need more experience, I'm not ready to settle down yet, you are of a different religion, or social status, or intellectual level, your background is different, and so on. There are so many excuses for souls to possess. So then they literally don't enter to do the work. And I feel like I've experienced myself before my awakening, before I understood. Like, I was an unawakened partner in a love relationship, or in my love relationships, as well as I have had the opportunity to now be a conscious, awakened person in a romantic relationship. So I know the difference of how I used to handle things, or how I used to think of my connections. And I truly believe that once I did the work to heal myself and my wounds, I had more capacity to be able to help my masculine in my life. I was able to hold space for them to also be able to heal their own stuff. But I've also experienced the tragicness of if one person is not awakened or does not have the capacity to do the work, then what that feels like as well. But we have to have faith in knowing, like Brian Weiss says, that you don't have to worry about meeting a soulmate. They are going to be a matter of destiny, and they will occur. You don't ever have to worry about losing one and not finding another one, because even if, so we don't actually lose anyone to begin with. We may separate in 3D reality, but like, that person is always going to be part of our soul tree. We're always going to be on the soul branch together, and we're going to be traveling this beautiful existence called life experience in a human suit over and over together, until at some point, if my understanding is correctly, what happens to the soul is, once you reach nirvana, you reach that self-actualization point of the pyramid that Maslow talks about in his hierarchy of needs. That's when the soul may not come back to this experience, because it's done all of its healing and it's done everything that it's needed to learn. So then it becomes a guardian angel for another soul that decides to embark in this human experience. And I know I used to beg God to please never bring me back here to earth again, because of all the pain that I experienced in this life. But now that I understand it, and even though I experienced suffering, like, believe me, most of the day yesterday I spent crying, but I'm so grateful to have such beautiful friends and family around me that are actually able to help me carry myself through these experiences. And then I want to do it again, which is crazy, because I never thought I would say that. I never thought I would say, this is so awesome, because when I feel the bliss of life versus the suffering of life, okay, so the bliss now is more than the suffering. But overall, I would do it again just so I can feel the bliss of life. I would do it again just so I can feel the bliss of life. I hope this video made so much sense. I am so grateful to have you be part of my life, and thank you so much again for all your beautiful questions and trying to understand soul contracts, what our soul has come here on earth to do, what is its true purpose. And I'm gonna link these books underneath in the description box, and I'm also gonna link a really powerful meditation that I did over the weekend to heal our parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, especially the parasympathetic nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, because that is the one that keeps us in the fight or flight or freeze state, and that is what requires the most work. And once we are able to heal that, because most likely when we are in a connection that's not working or causing or bringing forth pain and suffering, the chances that we're going to be in our sympathetic nervous system because we're trying to fight that or flee from it or numb it is the one that needs to be soothed in order to be able to become more conscious and aware of what is happening. We heal our nervous system and we get in touch with our true self, with our soul, through meditation, through spending time by ourselves, through affirmations and mindfulness, and of course, being present in the moment right now. Staying fully present in your moment right now and accepting it as is, so then you can connect to your higher self, because you're not wishing for anything else to be different, because you understand that everything is exactly as it's meant to be and everything is always happening for your highest growth. And I remember when I used to work at McDonald's, they had 2 rules. Rule number 1, the customer is always right. Rule number 2, if you think the customer is wrong, go back to rule number 1. So I have 2 rules for us as well. Everything is always happening for us. And when you feel, why is this happening to me? And you want to go into that sorrow, go back to question number 1. Go back to rule number 1. Everything is always happening for you. Your soulmate is always going to be there to teach you what it is needed for your highest growth. And once we're able to understand that, then we can just have a more freeing sense of being, that when the pain and sorrow is there, it's not actually meant to hurt us. And then you don't have to become that. You just know it's there and you allow it to pass, and then you keep moving forward. With all my love and gratitude, I will see you next time.